Good morning! Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maayong buntag kaninyong tanan. I'm former Press Secretary Mike Toledo from the administration of President Erap Joseph Estrada.
Good morning. I'm former spokesperson Margaux Salcedo, also from President Joseph Estrada's administration. And we are
the Spokes. From the palace halls, then to our group chats now.
We'll give you perspectives from an insider's position standing behind the podium.
On today's Noted by the Spokes, House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos reveals the Duterte camp's demands in exchange for the unit team's cooperation. Wow, what a revelation.
Yeah, did you see that? It was in a different talk show. Yeah.
Exactly. I think he was with together with some political pundits, if I'm not mistaken. But,
yes,
you know,
lumabas po doon, parang sinasabi niya, and he said that it was his first time to reveal this, that there was a time when President BBM at the time was just a presidential candidate, and he was asking for the endorsement of former President Rodrigo Duterte, and they went daw to Malacanang.
Correct.
And they sat for 2 hours. 2 hours
So they had to wait for 2 hours?
They had to wait daw for 2 hours, and then daw sila sa guest house, pinaghintay daw sila. Tapos instead of the President himself meeting them, ang pinaharap daw po sa kanila were 3 persons. Actually, he didn't identify who those 3 persons were. So, hula-hula na lang ng tao kung sino yung tatlo. There were some are saying that it was Bongo. Of course, he was at that time the special assistant to the president. Tapos may nagsabi din na kasama daw po si E.S. Medaldea at that time. Not sure about the third person.
Yeah, maybe Secretary Panelo or the other member of cabinet. You know, but you know, Margo, the one thing significant about this latest revelation, it clearly shows that perhaps that is the reason why, alam niyo po, hindi talaga nag-personal endorsement, a presidential endorsement. President Duterte never did, no? Maybe the only endorsement was through the Kusi faction of the PDP Laban na eventually, I think they said that since aligned daw yung polisiya ng dating Pangulong Duterte sa kandidatong BBM at that time, so suportahan natin. So it sheds light to that, no? Nauna, kaya pala siguro, you did not see President Duterte go out and really say, oh, I am endorsing him. Dahil nga siguro, hindi nagkaintindihan dito sa hinihingi. At pangalawa, that also, in my view, Margo, would be, it shows na sa umpisa pa lang, there was already a fundamental clash or crack, no?
Well, I don't know. I think it's really part of the game because, di ba, syempre, you're a candidate, you're asking for the endorsement of the president, and the president had such high ratings at the time.
Even after he left,
Yeah, and then, I mean, I think, like, if you have that kind of clout, of course, you would negotiate for what you want. And I think that's just part of it. I mean, I think it's nothing out of...
the ordinary, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's part of politics.
Of horse trading.
Yeah, of horse trading, and, you know, I mean, it's part of, like, preparing for what's going to happen to me after this term. And then I think we also have to remember that before the elections of 2022, there were the candidate of President Duterte was not his daughter; it was Bongo. Remember,
Initially,
was the one that
he didn't want now VP Sara to run.
It was GMA, I think, who wanted,
who
pushed for Sara.
Senator Bongo.
Yeah, so siguro po at that time, siguro they were still exploring what were the options, kung sino pa yung magiging vice president niya. For all we know, baka ang pinupush pa po nila noong time na yun was for Bongo to step down as a candidate for president, and then for him to be the vice president of PBBM, which would have been a totally different fate for the Philippines, I think, right?
That's true. Kaya nga talaga the presidency, as former President Estrada once said, the presidency is destiny.
Oh, okay.
Diba?
Akala
Destiny
ko,
talaga.
weather lang yun.
We know a lot of people that were really very qualified to be presidents and even really worked hard to become president eventually and prepared. But at the end of the day, it's really as President Estrada eloquently said, no, and very simply said, destiny talaga yan. And like I've always said, had BBM perhaps won the vice presidency, the administration before, and Lenny lost to him, in my view, it would have been perhaps been difficult for him to be president because from
Committee
then
vote.
on, as VP already, he will be already subjected to so many attacks. Just like what happened to VP Binay. When VP Binay,
Or
for
to VP
example,
Lenny.
and to VP Lenny for that matter. Kaya talagang, at the end of the day, destiny. Kaya, yeah, that's the exciting part about politics, especially in the Philippines.
There was
because-
also one thing that was mentioned by Congressman Sandro that was quite a turnoff for them, was that they asked specifically in the horse trading,
Yes.
they specifically asked for the positions of Executive Secretary, Speaker of the House, and Senate President.
These are very important and crucial.
Yeah,
Can you
so
imagine?
parang ewan ko yung parang ang pagka-quote sa kanya is parang sinabi daw ni Pangulo at the time sa kotse pa uwi daw, sinabi na parang pinatay na rin nila ako. So yung parang they're clipping the powers of the president is
Yes.
what he means
And
by doing
rightly
that.
rightly so. I think it was right for the president not to agree. Because definitely, can you imagine, you are the president, but at the time, already at the start of your administration, lame duck ka na. Tama naman ang ginawa ni Pangulong BBM na hindi siya pumayag no, na diktahan siya kung sino ang pwedeng magiging occupant sa mga posisyon na yon. No?
Galit tuloy Pangulo, nag-support tuloy sa ICC. Yeah. Okay, so that's politics for you.
Yes, definitely.
But we'll see what's going to happen in 2028.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. In fact, siguro Margo, no, itong gusto kong tanungin eh. And maybe pwede natin tanungin ang guest natin mamaya. Di ba sinabi na there were 3 people who met with now President BBM and Congressman Sandro Marcos. But they did not identify, no? Clearly kung sino.
Meron tayong
But
tip.
meron daw sitting official pa rin daw hanggang ngayon.
Yes.
So ang tanong, sino kaya itong sitting official ngayon na kasama doon sa pag-uusap sa Malacanang na nung nag-demand sila kay BBM, di ba? So sino kaya, di ba?
Ito po, meron po tayong tip from a viewer. Kayo po mag-reveal.
Tip from Purples and Roses. According to Purples and Roses, 3 cabinet sec daw na kausap si kandidatong BBM at that time and Sandro Marcos are Senator Bongo, Sec E.S. Medaldea, and Congressman Jing Paras. Who
Naku!
Is,
Honey
diba?
trap!
Honey trap.
Honey trap! Okay. Okay, so let's move on from the honey trap.
Yeah.
Also noted by the spokes, the retractions of 4 out of 18 ex-bodyguards of Zaldico strengthened allegations that they were used as pawns in a smear campaign. So, tama naman, talagang dapat mag-retract talaga sila dahil ang gulo-gulo ng mga statement nila, hindi mo na alam, hindi mo na masundan kung ano ba talaga.
Kaya alam mo, partner, one of the things talaga, I've always had this aversion to people executing affidavits. And for one reason or the other, whether they were bribed or not, or sinasabi nila, kasi nakonsensya daw sila, nagdasal daw sila, they decided to recant. For me, that is really an abuse, no, of the privilege given to you, and it's abuse of the judicial system. Parang ninuloko mo na yung tao eh. Mag-execute ka na affidavit. An affidavit, ladies and gentlemen, mga kababayan, ang affidavit po, or affidavit, is sworn statement. Sinumpaang salaysay. You swear to the law and even to God that you're telling the truth and nothing but the truth. And suddenly, nagkaroon lang siguro ng some changes, nag-iiba na yung sinasabi mo, nag-iiba na yung kwento mo. Kaya, hindi dapat yun. Kaya, in my view, pag nag-recant ang isang tao, wag na dapat paniwalaan eh. This should really be discouraged. In fact, I think there should be some sort of charges that should be filed against people who just issues affidavits and then sworn statements and suddenly recants, di ba? Now, sinasabi nila, nagre-recant daw sila dahil na, sinasabi ng kabila, hindi kasi nabayaran, kaya nagre-recant. Sinasabi naman ng iba, hindi, nagre-recant kami kasi, nag-guilty kami. Di ba? It has happened, no? Nag-guilty daw.
I think parang ang nabasa ko po is that they are recanting because yung pinain sa kanila, what the original affidavit that they were made to write, it had changed so many times. And I think na napagod na sila ng kakapalit. So itong 4 na to, sabi nila, tama na. And yun, so there's charges now against even Attorney Balikod, false testimony.
Yes. By perjury, and then they post
cyber
bail.
libel.
Cyber libel. And recently, I think they were able to post bail. And we were also told, we found out na si former Senator Trillanes has decided to withdraw his cases filed against the 4 na nag-retract, no? Kasi daw being the military, naintindihan daw niya kung ano dinaanan nila. So, tignan natin to kung ano talaga
Sana yung
mangyayari
apat
dito.
na nag-recant, i-reveal na nila, i-reveal na po ninyo, itodo nyo na po yung totoong testimony ninyo kung sino po yung pumwersa sa inyo na ilagay yung mga affidavit na fake.
Oo. At yeah.
The truth will set you free.
Yeah, kung talaga bang totoong nakita nyo na may mga maleta, na mga gano'n, di ba? Kaya nga maleta boys sila, no?
Kaso lang kung sino-sino yung finale nila, umabot pa sila kay Eduardo Año.
Ang dami nga eh.
Diba?
Kaya you wonder really, what is the strategy here?
Laila De Lima, who was in prison
Correct.
diba?
Correct.
At parang hindi ka panipaniwala at ng mga sinasali nila. Outrageous. Yeah.
That's true.
So Ombudsman Boying Remulla even alluded that former Speaker Martin Romualdez may be behind the recantation. So may ganyan naman po silang
pero sabi naman ni
Speaker and
correct.
the Ombudsman.
Pero ang kampo naman ni dating Speaker Romualdez immediately debunked, no, and denied the statement made by the Ombudsman, and he claims in the strongest possible terms that these are actually not true and were definitely trump-up charges, and he's willing to prove himself.
Actually, if I could recall correctly, the press conference of the Ombudsman, what he said was, who would benefit from it?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it was just concluded that it was the Speaker. Parang somebody asked if it was the Speaker, and his response was, sino bang nakaka-benefit from this?
Kaya talagang antabayanan po natin, bantayan po natin. Sinasabi ng kabilang kampo na they will defend themselves, no? They're ready to defend themselves. They will present the evidence to prove otherwise. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Now, these are the headlines noted by the spokes.
We will have a chessboard conversation. Let's see if we can get a checkmate with a former presidential advisor on political affairs when the spokes returns right after this break.
Don't go away. The Spokes is back. Thanks for joining us. With one of the brightest presidential political strategists of his time, he has first-hand knowledge of how presidents build coalition, how political alliances are negotiated, and how those alliances can also fall apart.
Joining us is a political icon, a former presidential advisor for political affairs, Secretary Gabriel Claudio. Welcome back to the Spokes, Sec.
Salamat. Nakaka-pressure naman yung introduction ninyo.
O, di ba?
Welcome,
One of the
welcome.
best.
Pleasure is all mine, and thank you for having me this morning.
You know, Margaux, before we go into the meat of the matter, no, I guess people should know, na, aside from being a political advisor, and PLLO at that, alam mo, isa po magaling na singer itong si Secretary Gabby. At meron po siyang he has been a member of several bands. And maybe, very briefly, Secretary Gabby, saan ka naman nagpe-perform ngayon?
Actually, one band lang. I've had this band after I stepped down from the cabinet from Malacanang in 2010. And I've had the same band ever since. I've never really played with anybody else.
What's the name of the band, and where are you performing nowadays?
Predictably, Clouds at Night.
Predict-
Clouds for
Claudio.
and
Kasi
night.
Claudio. At
Gabi.
night. Kasi Gabi. OMG. So, pag kumakanta po ba kayo, hindi naman naghahabagat, di ba?
Bumabagyo lang.
Si Secretary Lenny din, na magaling din na,
Yes, she has a full
she plays
band.
the instruments and she sings as well.
Ito yung kasawaan ko.
She has her own band.
I see.
And they're playing in another, big establishment in Makati.
Pwede po kayo siguro together. Magaling po siya mag-guitar.
Magaling.
Yeah, and she plays the violin. No, not the piano.
Piano also.
The piano.
And the guitar, I think.
And the guitar,
And let me also perhaps share with you na isa rin magaling na singer, jazz singer at that. Walang iba kundi si Yusek Margaux Salcedo.
Yeah, I will not deny.
Mag-jamming tayo minsan.
Magaling
Again po.
kumanta.
Parang di naman puro
Narinig ko na
politika
yan many
pinag-uusapan natin.
times.
Opo, pero ngayon po, ano na ako? Liturgical singer.
Talaga?
Okay. Sa
Okay.
simbahan na siya kumakanta.
Let's get back as former
Okay.
presidential advisor. How different is the political environment today? Mas exciting po ba? Parang pareho lang.
Mas mahirap ngayon. Alam mo bakit? During our time, and maybe during your time also, Sec Mike,
Yeah.
wala pang social media, hindi pa ganun ka-active.
Iba ang game
That's
dahil
true,
sa social
that's
Ngayon
true.
talaga, yung hindi ka pakakawala ng social
Trolls.
media. Everything you say, everything you do, talagang, you'll have as many as 100 interpretations in the social media.
And bashing.
Grabe. So, In that regard, medyo maswerte tayo nung araw, no? We just had to deal with the traditional media, newspapers and television, ganyan. And it would have been a more proper way to to explain your advocacy. Ngayon talaga, yung maski paano paliwanag mo, kung may ibang interpretation yung mga nasa social media, wala ka na.
Alam mo, yun nga sinasabi ko, tinatanong din kasi ako minsan kung how different it was, no? When I was press secretary, spokesman, and now sabi ko, mas mahirap talaga ngayon. I'm telling the people at the Presidential Communication Office, your job is exponentially more difficult during my time. Pero alam mo, gusto namin din malaman. Kasi alam natin, di ba, Margaux, that GMA at that time, who was the longest-serving president, no?
Yes.
After FM Senior, there were actually 17. Maybe a lot of people don't know that there were actually 17 impeachment bids against GMA. Now, how were you able to dismiss, no, all the complaints before they could even advance to the Senate trial? Talagang yan ang mga skills mo eh.
Una, Sec Mike, palagi natin talaga mahina naman talaga yung issues being raised against GMA, no? To merit an impeachment, let alone an impeachment trial. So that was one. And then, but hindi naman as many as 17, no? Yung, kasi nagsimula yan with the Garci issue.
Yung Hello Garci. Hello Garci.
So every year since 2005 all the way until 2010, there was at least one impeachment case being filed against GMA, So 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, all the way until 2010. And by the grace of God, we survived all of them, no? They never even went beyond the stage of the Justice Committee. Alam mo naman natin yan, it has to be discussed, it has to be decided upon by the Justice Committee first to be endorsed to the plenary. It never went off the ground, no? It never went beyond the Justice Committee.
Sabihin po, hawak na hawak niyo yung Congress.
Hindi, I think more reasonable yung Kongreso noon. In the first place, wala pa mga flood control project noon.
Meron po kayong fertilizer funds, Cam.
Well, I think it was dealt with naman properly by, by the wheels of justice, by the agencies concerned, and naparusahan naman yung mga dapat managot dun sa nangyari yun, no? Pero nothing as serious as what is happening now, no? So, and then, I think we had a very good coordination and relation with members of Congress. We had a very strong leadership in the House in the person of JDV. Yeah, most of those events and occurrences were happening during the time of JDV when he was Speaker. At the same time, he was, remember, president of the party, of the Lakas Party.
Yes.
There has to be a good synergy between the leadership of the House and the political party, the administration political party. That was my advantage, siguro, if I were to compare the position that I used to hold with that of the new PLLO chief, si Joey Salcedo, is a good friend of ours.
He's now the new PLLO, yes.
Pero ang swerte ko siguro noon, Sec Mike, I was not only PLLO, at the same time, concurrently, I was political advisor, I was legislative advisor, and more importantly siguro, I was SecGen of the
party,
the administration party. So, I'm able to coordinate very well, not only with the members of Congress, but political leaders at various levels, the national, regional, and provincial and city levels. No?
Kaya nga very in demand siya, Yusek Margaux, no? From
Not just in demand,
to GMA.
demanda.
Then after that, I know, there were already some people really saying, perhaps you should get this guy, even in the administrations after. But of course, for a plethora of reasons, hindi siguro natuloy yun. Pero gusto namin tanungin sa'yo, Sec Gabby, eto ngayon, sa impeachment trial kay VP Sara, sa inyong pananaw, what were the crucial factors that actually allowed the impeachment to actually reach the Senate? Of course, there was na-delay na nga to because of when Senator Chi said he had a different definition of what forthwith was, which at the end of the day, the Supreme Court also ruled. And they came up with the new rules with respect to due process and impeachment, which during the time of ERAP, wala yon, di ba? Di ba, Yusek Margaux? Sayang na nga, dapat noong panahon na meron nun. So ngayon, ano yung mga factors sa inyong pananaw na kaya umabot na to sa Senado?
You're asking bakit nag-advance ng ganito?
Bakit nga nag-advance ng
As
ganito?
compared to
Twice.
previous
Twice.
attempts at impeachment, no?
Yes.
Well, una, palagi ko talaga merong
Probable cause.
medyo seryoso talaga yung mga yung issues being raised against
Yung articles of impeachment.
against Vice President Sara. And on the political side, hindi natin maalis yung the proponents of the impeachment, those behind the impeachment will say na talagang very strong yung issues against Sara. But at the same time, there was every political reason and political motive why siguro they have to get rid of Sara Duterte.
Which of the four po
through
do you
through the impeachment, no?
Which of the 4 counts po do you think is the strongest?
Well,
Di ba there's
hindi na
confidential
magagaling sa
funds?
akin yan. Hindi magagaling sa atin mismo yan. Magagaling mismo sa prosecution. Bakit nila inuna yung
Threats.
article number 4, which is the grave threats against the president, the first lady and speaker of the house. No? Inuna nila yan. So, coming from their own mouth, I think they were sending the message, and they admitted, they acknowledged that this would have been the most serious and probably the most effective
Or perhaps
issue that they can
the
raise
easiest
against
to prove.
Sara Duterte.
The easiest to prove kasi recorded eh.
Oo.
But it seems like the defense has shown good counters to that that portion.
Well, makikita natin na hindi yung ginawa lang naman ng defense talaga dyan, nag-cross lang eh. Nag-cross examine. Pero I'd like to see how they will take their turn when it's their turn actually to present their own witness
Kasi
on this
nung-
particular issue. Pero I don't think nabutasan nila yung
Yung kay NBI, yung pinalabas po nila na siya mismo may threats din.
threat against.
Di ba yung kay Matibag? Di ba
Attorney
parang-
Matibag?
Oo,
Oh.
yeah. Oh, parang may pinakita silang video na parang siya nga, nananakot din siya eh.
Naalala ko nga, during that particular stage of the impeachment trial, you will recall that at least one member of, one senator judge, di ko nasasabihin kung sino, siguro was so eager to get ahead with the issues. That senator judge asked the witness, no, do you think this is an impeachable, yung nangyari yun, no? Yung utterances ni VP Sara at impeachable, no? Yung our grounds for impeachment or our grounds for removal from her position, no? And you will recall si Chis Escudero as presiding officer had to admonish his colleague.
You are a judge, you are not a prosecutor or a
Tapos
defense.
parang dinadala mo na kagad sa conclusion. Di ba?
Sino tingin niyo mananalo? May impeach mo kaya si VP? What's your analysis?
I think there's going to be enough ventilation of the issues, no? And and there's enough interest among the public. Ngayon lang dahil natalakay na yung dalawang articles, no? Yung threats at saka ngayon yung the use of confidential funds, no?
Yeah.
Palagay ko the two remaining articles are not going to be as interesting for the public as the first two. Baka maging anticlimactic na nga na ito eh. And palagay ko baka mainip na yung mga tao kapapanood nito, no?
Ako, naiinip na ako.
According to the sense of priority of the prosecution itself, I think makikita natin na talagang inuna nila yung
mas madaling i-prove.
charges na madaling i-prove and which will win for them the case against Sara Duterte.
Kasi
no?
itong ngayon, no, itong confidentiality issue funds, accountability, liquidation, etc. While there are COA rules, and there's the Constitution, statutory rules, COA rules involving confidential funds, still there's still the need for the prosecution to prove that VP Sara knew about the unliquidated funds, knew about its illegal use, for example. There are a number of Supreme Court cases that says that kailangan alam niya, kunyari may red flag at hindi siya gumalaw, no? So they have to prove that. Kaya it's really and the burden of proof is on the prosecution. Although may prima facie evidence din na pag hindi mo na liquidate yung funds, medyo, you have to prove also that you used it for the proper way. Kasi government funds given to a public official, the government official is held accountable and must liquidate. Pero siguro, following up from Margaux's question, assuming for the sake of argument, ma-impeach si VP Sara at kasi nakuha nila yung 16 or less. Kasi yung issue on the 16 is another topic for us in the future.
Boboto ba si Jingoy, boboto ba si Marcoleta?
Sa issue niya.
So ngayon, kung ma-impeach, how will that, assuming for the sake of argument, assuming arguendo, yan ang sinasabi natin mga abogado, arguendo. No? Kailangan mag-Latin tayo ng konti. Anong mangyayari sa political landscape in 2028?
Before we even discuss the prospect of the possibility anong mangyayari pagka
na-impeach.
Na-convict, well, impeached na.
Yeah,
so,
convict.
Na-convict. Ako, frankly, from where I sit, tingin ko mahirapan talaga kumuha ng 16 eh. 16. Remember the provision of the Constitution. You guys know this only too well. That's Article 11, Section 6.
Yeah.
Maliwanag eh. Very unambiguous, very explicit. No?
Ano po ang denominator?
No person shall be convicted without the concurrence of 2/3 of all the members of the Senate. Okay? So you're talking about 4 members of the Senate ngayon who are not physically available to participate in any of the proceedings or any of the activities of the Senate. You have Bato de la Rosa, you have Senator Marcoleta, you have Jingoy Estrada. And now, si Lauren Legarde is out of the country.
Yes.
Hindi natin alam kung anong talaga ang plano niya. I hope people are hoping that she comes back. No? So, you're left with 20 members of the Senate. No? So, I think there is, may discussion, yung 16 ba niyan, can it be adjusted? No? They're invoking, some people are, or even some lawyers, are going back to the Avellino-Cuenco case
But that's for
of
the Senate
1949.
presidency. It's not for impeachment.
Exactly. Pero some people are saying na baka pwedeng i-apply dito. By being able to adjust the number of 16, baka pwedeng
Sasakit na
mapababa.
naman ulo ni Supreme Court Chief Justice
By
Mundo.
making the interpretation that you should not be literal about, counting all the members of the Senate, but only those who are available to actively participate in the proceedings.
Mahirap tong creative jurisprudence. Hindi tayo
Ako
dapat
tingin ko
nagkakaroon ng
personally,
ganyan.
very unambiguous, very explicit yung provision ng Constitution. It says all the members of the Senate. Now, you're talking about the 4 who are, for some reason or another, cannot participate physically in the proceedings of the Senate and the impeachment court, no? But they are still members of, whether or not they are able to physically present themselves, they are still members of the Senate.
But as I mentioned, Sec Gab, that's one point of view. But there's also another strong point of view that says that you can go below 16, citing Avellino, among others. No, but although Avellino was an obiter dictum, let us not forget that the discussion on this particular issue was an obiter dictum. So it was not really the decision of the court. The point is, ganito, pwedeng dating SP, Chis Escudero, already said, the presiding officer na,
16
di ba? 16, di ba? Ngunit, sinabi ng mga ibang senador, wait, statement mo yon, pero dadaan pa sa plenary yan. So, ang nakikita ko dito, magkakaroon ng argumento yan, yung 16, yung sabing less than 16, because there are also a number of practical and legal reasons why it can be less than 16. Ang mangyayari yan, aakyat sa Supreme Court. Now, ang tanong ganito,
I agree,
will the Supreme Court act on it, or will the Supreme Court say it is a political question that should be left to the Senate to decide?
Attorney Margaux, you know this only too well. No? Very explicit in the provision of Constitution dyan. The Senate has the exclusive authority
Impeachment proceedings.
To conduct the,
Yes.
But
the impeachment
conducting
trial.
is different from
deciding.
interpreting.
And deciding.
Diba? Can they interpret the rules and go against what was
Well, if you're
stated in
going to
the
be literal
Constitution?
about the provision of the Constitution, talagang dapat hayaan ng Supreme Court ang Senado to decide this matter on their own. No?
Eh di every time may impeachment, pwede na nilang palitan.
Well,
Di ba? Doesn't that violate the very essence of the Constitution?
Remember also ito yung Avellino and Cuenco, it refers to It wasn't an impeachment case, no? It wasn't a trial.
Yes.
It was for the purpose of being able to determine a new leadership of the Senate.
Senate presidency, yes.
Marcy Abilino was then the
Yes.
Senate president.
Yes.
And he was going to be replaced.
Yes.
And eventually was in fact replaced by Cuenco because the Supreme Court allowed the interpretation that the remaining 12
Yes.
members of the Senate who were actually present
Yes.
can elect a new Senate president. So
Aabot po
ibang-iba
kaya
ito
ito ng-
ngayon because we're talking about the conviction or the acquittal of a respondent in an impeachment case.
Yeah. Abot po kaya ito ng 2028? Para Supreme Court. So,
Hindi na
mag-elections
siguro.
na lang tayo.
Hindi na siguro
It's
dahil
moods and academic.
by the in accordance with the agreement of the prosecution and the defense, they're trying to limit themselves to only three months, no? 60 days for the prosecution and 30 days for the defense, no? So if all goes well, hindi dapat lumampas doon.
If all goes well po, would this be considered a political victory?
For whom?
For 2028,
Depende
I guess,
sa
for
depende sa resulta. Alam mo natin.
those who want her impeached.
Tatlo lang pwedeng rito scenario ang pwedeng mangyari dito, no? Number 1, pwedeng conviction. Number 2, pwedeng acquittal. Or number 3, before any of the first two happens,
She'll resign.
for the Vice President to resign.
Kasi tandaan po natin, siyang
So,
number
ano
one ngayon
po,
for
ha?
president.
Yes,
Siya ang
oo.
layo po ng agwat. She's really super duper leading.
Well,
For all
I
intents and
wouldn't say
purposes from
that
the surveys.
kasi sino yung tinatapas sa kanya dito sa mga surveys, ano? Si Leni Robredo seems to be still the strongest,
Still the strongest, but she's a far second.
I think
Well,
nagka-catch up
one factor for
according to
that is
Okta.
the fact that she has declared to herself to be out of
Yes, the race.
contention for the election. That is something, of course, that's not written in stone, and pwede pang magbago yan para natin, no?
Okay. And now, my next question would be, are there new potential national candidates emerging from trial? But, alam mo, mahilig kami nga sa suspense dito. Before you answer this, the spokes will return after the short break, so don't go away. Stay with us.
The Spokes is back, still with Secretary Gabby Claudio. Before we go on to our hanging question, we'll acknowledge first the comments and questions coming from our live viewers. From Mail Blue. Good morning from your avid OFW viewer here in Singapore. Hello
Good
po.
morning, good morning.
And from Boy Collado. Good morning.
Kabanda ko yan.
Kabanda mo si Boy?
He's the
Sample
drummer of
naman
our
po.
band.
The drummer. Boy, the drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Good morning.
from Clouds and Collado, Miss Collado of Clouds at Night. Nax, minsan po makikijamming.
Mr. Collado yan.
Mr. Collado. Makikijamming po kami with you.
Yes.
And good morning to Vicky C.
Good morning, Vicky.
At isa pang suki natin, si
Yes.
Tiny Sushi.
Tiny Sushi. I just had sushi last night.
Was it tiny?
Yep.
With how the trial is going, general public is starting to lose interest. Ayan,
You have
umay na
a
rin.
good point there. Yeah.
Kayo po.
Oh, from a waffle lover. Natural, pwede lower than 16. And
Ayun ang
galing
interpretation
naman
mo.
kay Roy Hukaban, nagtraidura na sa kurakot ang unity team.
Matagal
Kaya
na.
nagkahiwalay. Matagal na daw.
At sabi naman po ni Baldo G. Tondo, what we need is intelligence and an intelligent and conscientious president. Yan po ang ipagdasal natin
I
for 2028.
totally agree with you. Let's
Kasi
all pray
intelligent
for
and
that.
conscientious naman ang
Yeah. We have to, di ba, na ituloy, no? At talagang ang kanyang puso ay para sa bayan. Now, our hanging question, are there new potential national candidates emerging from the trial?
Well, yung potential candidates for the presidency, hardly. Parang
Wala ka nakikita?
Isa-isahin po
wala pa
natin.
rin
Oo, isa-isahin
No,
natin.
So, si
except
Lenny.
ganito well, si Lenny has no part in the impeachment process. She's out of the picture, you know.
Okay.
And she has maintained her silence regarding the elections. And for all intents and purposes, parang she's sticking to sa ngayon na her announcement and decision that she has no plans to run for elections in 2028.
Although, very briefly, I'll interject, but go back right away, no? But remember, that was also the strategy of then President Duterte. I am not running, but he went around the country pushing for federalism. I'm just saying...
Ang pagkakaiba lang siguro niyan, yung makikita mo yung personality ng dalawa, si President Duterte at saka si VP Leni. Pasensya na, hindi
Magkaibang personality. Pero noong 2022...
Si Sec Leni hindi bolero eh.
Pero noong 2022, hindi din po siya nag-announce ng maaga. Ang tagal din niya bago nag-announce noong 2022. Parang medyo ano din po siya.
No, I think si Mayor Leni is quite serious and sincere about her intention and announcement that she's not seeking, nor does she want to participate in the elections for president in 2028. Kaya lang, I think the pressure is mounting. Kasi kung titin mo, wala talagang, kung ang opposition or the administration, hindi opposition, sila yung administration actually ngayon, needs to put up a strong candidate against Sara Duterte, who's leading by all accounts in the surveys for 2028. Walang panlaban pa sa Maybe si one of the Tulfos, Rafi Tulfo. So I think the pressure is going to mount.
There were two very big photos po na nag-circulate last week. One was Cardinal Ambo with Vice President Leni in Naga with Vince Dizon.
At saka pang ilang beses nang nagpunta si Vince
Dizon doon.
Not to mention the President himself going to Naga.
Yes.
So
I guess
ibig
twice,
sabihin yan?
Yeah.
So, and then the second photo was with the First Lady, with Chris Aquino. So it seems as if there's like some kind of nag-uusap po ba ang mga dilaw at ang mga admin?
Ako, I'm almost sure of that. Kasi that just might be the only way to para tapatan ang lakas ng puwers ng hatak ni VP Sara, no? So there's really need on the part of the administration to put up a strong candidate against
Pero po yung mga
VP Sara.
yung mga opposition, yung kampo ni VP Sara, lahat ng mga supporters, parang may term po sila for it eh. Yung term nila, kain suka.
Guys.
Bakit ano yung sabihin?
Yung parang before, parang you were anti. And then now, parang you're pro. Yeah.
Pero sabi nga nila, di ba, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Di ba? Basic in politics. And I'm sure being a political strategist, the adage that we always remember, politics is a game of addition, not subtraction.
That's true.
Diba?
That's true.
Meron po kayong dark horse. Ano po dati si VP Binay, sabi nila,
yung
literal dark horse.
If you're talking about anyway, yung who are the candidates, who are the personalities who are emerging out of this experience of the
Aquino, for
impeachment.
example.
Well, he's not been that prominent. No? He's not been a real factor as far as the impeachment is concerned. Sa ngayon, hindi pa. No? And I don't think he's done anything or said anything that will really, trigger a lot of excitement on the part of the public. No? So, sa ngayon, nakikita ko talaga na si Mayor Leni pa rin at siya ang hinahabol pa rin ng administration. And many of her colleagues in the yellow and pink forces.
Yes.
Ang dalawang pag-uusapan lang siguro dyan. Number one, paano kumbinsihin. Pangalawa, sino pwedeng maging katandem, no?
Yun importante.
Running mate ni Sec Leni. She will have to, or the administration will probably have to get somebody from
the south.
From the south,
Diba?
Visayas.
Oo.
Yung mga Tulfo, actually may roots ito from
Nagbibisaya.
Visayas.
Ang mga Tulfo, marunong sila.
Pwede rin.
Mga paisano po na ako ng mga
You know,
Tulfo. Kasabot o Bisaya.
Before itong mga pangyayari ngayon,
Yes.
no? People might have thought baka si Loren sana. Actually, si Loren...
Top 5 po siya sa senatorial balls pa rin.
Yeah,
Malakas
but not
po si
anymore
Senator
because
Loren.
kabaliktaran. Siya naging anti-administration na ngayon. She sided with the forces of the Dutertes, no? On the part of the Dutertes, sino bang pwedeng itandem kay Sara, no? There
Si
was a
Robin
survey.
Padilla daw po.
Ayun nga, yung pinag-uusapan natin dito, who are the characters who are emerging out of this
In fact po, si
the
Sal
impeachment, no?
Panelo said that if VP Sara is impeached, baka daw po pwedeng si Robin Padilla po yung tumakbo for
Ano,
president.
I'll tell you something,
Pwede po ba yun?
Yung hinahalin tulad ko itong situation na to kay Erap anong pang-insulto, ano yung pang-giba ng kami noon, nasa
Oo nga. Ano po
administration.
ba yung mga
KJDV,
smear campaign
KJDV.
ninyo kay Era?
8080.
Sir, ha?
Hindi, alam mo yung 8080, di ba? Bobo. Di ba? Hindi nang tinatawag kay ano ngayon, kay Robin.
Tingnan nyo, inaapi nyo kasi.
Yun na nga, it's working the other way.
Mahirap talaga kayong mga masyadong matalino eh. Masyadong
Hindi sa atin
small
nanggaling
yung mga
yun.
hindi magaling mag-English.
Hindi ko alam
eh.
saan nanggaling yung 8080 na yan. Diba? Pero the more they describe the person as somebody like that, the more sumisikat eh. The more
He's enamored.
the more he is able to identify with the masses.
Kasi po, English is not a gauge of intelligence. It's just language.
Well,
See?
siguro.
Even the
siguro.
accent is perfect.
Yeah, you know.
Spoken in straight English. Hindi, pero naniniwala ako talaga doon. Opo.
So, yun, there's a survey having si Robin coming out number 1, but this is for the Senate.
Pero yung mga Tulfo brothers po, parang pwede po silang
Pero
pumalong president.
Yes, so nag-declare din sila na ano eh. They're out of it eh.
Hindi daw sila kasi they still have a
Of
term.
course, again, this is something that's not written in stone, no? And subject to a lot of pressures, a lot of other developments that might come about between now until 2028. Marami pang pwede mangyari.
May isa pong malaking factor, I think,
yeah.
kung sino ang i-endorse ni former President GMA. Sino po kaya?
Speaking of GMA, yun na, may naisip lang akong senaryo. Hindi ko sinasabing iniisip din ni GMA ito. But I haven't spoken with GMA quite some time. No? Kung there's a possibility that si BBM could run for Vice President, di ba?
He is not prohibited.
That's interesting.
And that should be an interesting
Yes.
coalition
Yes.
between the yellows and the pinks, no?
Yes.
And the BBM forces, no? O di ba? O di para talagang
Bagong unit team.
no, there's no legal or constitutional restriction for BBM to run for such a position. And then on the other side naman, sino pwedeng katandem ni Sara? She would need somebody from Luzon.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yeah. Yes.
Sino kaya yon? Kung sakali lang, although yung let me clarify, hindi ko nakakausap yung taong the person concerned, and nor has she, as a matter of fact, she's been out of the been out of the radar eh. Hindi siya nakikihalo dito sa mga usapin na ito, no? Kung halimbawa si GMA ang naging you have a spectacle where two former presidents will fight each other as
for the vice presidency.
Di ba interesting?
OMG, si GMA
Only in the Philippines, huh?
for VP versus BBM for VP.
For VP.
Kasi ano, there is a degree of closeness between Lenny and BBM.
Yes.
Di ba? And there's a lot of attention being given by Malacanang and his cabinet and the president's cabinet members, like Vince Dizon going to Naga. And everybody knows that si GMA is the political godmother of Sara Duterte. And she happens to be from Luzon.
Yeah, I remember when then Speaker Alvarez was, during the time Duterte, was taken out. I know very well that, it was GMA and then Mayor Sara that really worked on that. But very briefly lang, before we go to a
Sorry po,
point,
before,
no?
GMA has already been vice president. Di ba you can only serve once?
Wala akong
pumunta
alam
VP?
na restriction na gano'n.
President lang.
Walang restriction.
President lang. At saka hindi consecutive yan.
Saka hindi consecutive yung ano.
Pwede. Okay po.
Before
Sorry
Ay,
po,
baka
go ahead.
maging headline lang eh. Hindi ano yan.
Before we go to the
Meron po
tough
tayong
question, no, very briefly lang, alam mo, nagkaroon ng maraming surveys. Nagkaroon ng isang grupo na gumawa ng algorithm. Gumawa na sila ng algorithm. Unyari, if elections were held today, sino ang magandang combination na pwedeng labanan si VP Sara for the presidency. At may mga different permutations. May isa, maybe a Bam Aquino and Rafi Tulfo for vice. Malakas daw yun. Now, isa din, nakikita natin sa survey ngayon sa Okta na pag one-on-one, kung maraming kalaban, for example, si VP Sara against Rafi, Bam, etc., Lenny, assuming, medyo sigurado na daw si Sara. But if everybody will, let's say, will field just one candidate, and for example, it's Secretary, or rather former VP, now Mayor Lenny, according to certain surveys, slowly but surely umaangat ang rating ni Lenny vis-a-vis VP Sara if it's only a one-on-one between them.
Yun na nga, kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, no? The first thing is si Lenny has declared herself to be out of contention for 2028, ano? And that matters a lot, no? Pag nag-declare yan o pag nagpakita siya ng openness to reconsider her announcement or decision, I'm sure, that will affect the survey ratings, no? And then, talking about combinations, no? Nakita ko yung latest survey ng Okta. Where si si Lenny was paired with Rafi Tulfo. They came out ahead of the tandem of Sara, who was paired in that survey with Aimee. By 4 points ahead ng si Lenny. Pero that might have been an unfair combination. Well, in the first place, kasi no offense to Senator Aimee, pero she was only number 12, number 11 during the last
Senate
elections.
election,
No? So
yes.
she might not be the strongest possible candidate as running mate to Sara Duterte. But
Jamie na lang.
Sara will really need somebody from Luzon.
Yes.
And si Robin Padilla is
Mindanao.
Yeah, from Luzon.
Parang,
no
but
Luzon, pero
he represents
because he took on another religious affiliation, another religion,
Yes.
which is Islam. No?
Yes.
Yes,
So
po.
he's identified very closely now with Mindanao.
Yes po. Sorry po. We have a question from a viewer, from Rochelle Ducot, asking kung meron po bang impeachment trial ngayon. So ang sagot po dyan is wala po, na-cancel po due to inclement weather. So we have a tough question. If VP Sara is impeached, will this be a big blow to the Duterte politics or will it create a martyr out of VP Sara?
Well, let's clarify muna yung terminology. No? Sara Duterte legally has already been impeached. Yun ang
Correct.
proseso sa House.
Twice.
Diba? When the articles of impeachment are approved by the House and sent to the
You're
Senate,
actually impeached.
na si
Yes.
and that has happened twice.
Yes.
Ang pinag-uusapan lang natin ngayon,
Conviction.
Will Sara be convicted or acquitted in the Senate trial?
Yes.
Court.
In the Senate court, no? So anong mangyayari halimbawa kung actually the question applies to both sides Kung naging unfavorable lang ang outcome to the administration or to the majority and naging unfavorable ang outcome to Sara Duterte, anong gagawin ng pareho? On the part of Sara Duterte, I guess, what are the options left or available to her? Pag na-convict siya, that means that, dalawang consequences, alam natin yan, no? First, she is out of office. Secondly, she is ineligible anymore.
Perpetual
You see, she's
disqualification.
not- yes, so she's not eligible to run for any public office after this, no? So anong pwede niyang gawin? I think the only, and I don't think she can expect much even if she were to go up to the Supreme Court to question the decision of the impeachment court. So anong pwede niyang gawin? I think that the best option for her is to endorse a candidate na talagang, di ba, who can pick up the cudgels for her. Nakikita kong available option for her, no?
Okay, another tough question. As a political strategist and one of the most respected and successful, if I may say, who has the better chance for winning the presidency in 2028? The Marcos camp, the Duterte camp, or perhaps is the country longing for a third force?
Wala akong nakikitang third force or a group that is not supported by the administration or by the Duterte camp. So I will probably set that aside. No? Talaga, it's just between the Dutertes and the present administration. Masyadong maaga pa siguro para masabi natin kung anong pwede mangyari dyan. It will depend on a lot of factors and a lot of developments between now until 2028. First is, ano bang mangyari dito sa impeachment na to? Secondly, how will BBM handle a situation where he is virtually a lame duck? Di ba? Yan ang bane ng mga incumbent presidents who are on his, who has two years or 1 year to go. No? Will BBM become a lame duck? So, tsaka ano pwedeng gawin ni BBM to forestall the possibility that he does become a lame duck? You know? So, yan ang on those factors will depend kung anong pwedeng mangyari scenario sa 2028.
There's something very interesting about what you said po, that it's just two camps now. It's the administration and the Duterte. So are you saying now po that the camp of Lenny is now administration?
I think there is every indication that is the kind of scenario and that is the kind of arrangement that the present administration would like to happen.
Okay, so on that note, thank you so much, Secretary Gabby Claudio.
Thank you, Secretary Gabby, and we'll be hoping to listen to you soon.
Yes.
Now, in politics, the alliances being built today may matter more than the verdict tomorrow.
As Filipinos, it is our duty to watch out for these political nuances, to clear our minds, and most importantly, to vote wisely in 2028. I'm former spokesperson Margaux Salcedo.
And I'm former Press Secretary Mike Toledo.
And we are the Spokes.